SACCI's May 2025 Business Confidence Index has been released, showing a 0.9-point increase compared to the previous month, taking it to 115.8. Year on year, that's an increase of 8 index points. Well, the slight increase has been attributed mainly to a stronger rand, higher JSE share prices and elevated gold and platinum prices. However, weaker imports, fewer tourists and lower manufacturing output has weighed on confidence. SACCI says economic growth and investor confidence are vital to tackle unemployment and foster inclusivity. Richard Downing, SACCI Economist, joins us now. Good afternoon, Richard. Thanks for taking time out to chat to us.
It's a pleasure.
How significant is the stronger rand and higher precious metal prices in sustaining business confidence, given the short-term declines in merchandise imports as well as manufacturing output?
Yeah, I think if one looks at the whole environment, economic environment, for business as such and the markets, what's going on there, then of course your financial movements have been quite positive in terms of business confidence. And that's actually what kept the index sort of afloat at 0.9 index points in May. But we must remember in April, there was quite some negative developments internationally as well as for South Africa specifically that created a lot of uncertainty in the business environment. So the index actually dropped from March to April by 8.6 index points. So luckily in May it recovered somehow to 0.9 index points, but we still have a long way to go, especially as you've mentioned, in terms of the real economy, where actually activity is taking place. That is where the problems lie within month to month. Then compared to last year, of course, May was the election month, as we know, and lots of sort of gossip going on and talking about policy and that type of stuff that created a lot of uncertainty in May last year. And then, of course, after that, the coalition government came about, and that helped a bit, to push the index quite higher, to reach a high point of 125 in February, which is quite higher than what we've got at the moment. So there's still a lot of work to do in terms of the economy. And I think, as we've mentioned, growth is one aspect. But to get to economic growth, higher real economic growth, and not the 1% that we're talking about at the moment, you'll have to convince people to invest in South Africa, especially your foreign investors, because we don't generate enough savings within South Africa to finance all our capital needs. And that is the important point that we're trying to make. I mean, economic growth is eventually will settle some of these issues that we're now battling with and can't find a way out.
Yes. Richard, I'm going to cut in there and just ask you one more question. We're running out of time, sadly. How does Budget 2025 version 3.0, with no changes to personal tax or VAT, but increases in fuel and sin taxes, impact the business climate in the short and medium term in the country?
Well, in the short term, I mean, it won't have that, perhaps only because there's some certainty now of where government, of where fiscal policy is going, I think. But in the longer term, I think we'll have to restructure a lot of our public finances to sort of try to get to grips with this huge debt overhang that we have at the moment and trying to finance.
Thank you so much for chatting to us this afternoon. Apologies for not having more time for you. That was Richard Downing, SACCI Economist.